Okay, I'm going to record this meeting, and let's see. Now, first of all, for your information, we are going to have this conversation every week, God willing, Saturday mornings, and we are going to increase this activity. Will include, God willing, people, peacemakers from different organizations. I will be in touch and inviting them to here. And the purpose of it is to create circles of peacemakers so that we can be more effective, not local, not belonging to one particular religion or ethnic group, but transcending the colors, national borders, religious borders. And we need to have these kind of things. It is not really about a central leadership, but about a network of intellectuals, a network of activists that want a just and peaceful world. And therefore, it is part of it. And also, meanwhile, Sundays mornings right now, I am doing a different meeting with the Turkish people, politicians, academicians, and activists about a new constitution for Turkey. And it is a very ambitious, of course, start, but it is not really official. It is people, individuals coming and trying to dream about what kind of social contract we would like to have, because we turn our world into hell because of the dogmas, religious or nationalistic dogmas we fabricate or we inherit from previous generation, and we don't question them. And this world could be much better place if we turn back to our nature since childhood, question dogmas, question things, and try to cooperate, live in a peace. And the rules are really simple. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know to turn this world to a much peaceful, a better, just place. It is what? Question the things, don't be fooled. Don't idolize any politician, any religious leader. Don't be their slaves, don't be their robots, because they will manipulate you and me. And then treat others the way you want to be treated. If it is too difficult for you, because this is golden rule, then do the silver rule. Don't treat others the way you don't want to be treated. Don't treat others the way you don't want to be treated. We should be at least be able to follow the silver rule, if not the golden rule. And therefore, with these few things, just be a free mind. Don't worship, don't idolize any human being. Don't be subject. We are all equal. And then also learn that this planet Earth is a small planet, and it will be becoming even smaller because of transportation and communication. And our problems also shared very faster than before. In the past, let's say centuries ago, when they polluted their air, only their town would be polluted if they burned things, and the smoke would be there. But now the amount of pollution is so much because overpopulation. And if there is pollution in one country, it basically our atmosphere get more carbon, and we are all suffering in the same hell. And if there is disease in one place, it's not staying there because of the transportation, because of the airlines and other means, global trade. It doesn't stay there. Therefore, we are more connected than each other, and this connection is two ways. Means either good or bad, we can communicate with each other. If a country is suffering from internal wars, it will come to us in terms of terrorism. I mean, I want to distinguish state terrorism from gang terrorism. Therefore, if there are wars, there is consequence of wars, not only in terms of our GDP, our money instead of going for infrastructure, for better education, for better healthcare, for better life for people, it goes for destruction. In turn, it also creates more violence on the other side against us. It is a bloody, vicious circle. And therefore, we need to foster and promote the idea of peacemakers around the world. My religion is to me, your religion to you. If you have religion or doesn't matter, or lack of your religion, my color is for me. My favorite color is red right now today. Yesterday it was orange. You don't like it, that's fine. You can wear any color you wish. Your sex or gender of your choice, whatever you want, it is for you. And therefore, what is really important, how we treat each other. We should treat each other with respect if you want to get respect, with justice if you want justice. And we want to establish peace in this world. Therefore, we should not consider it as a local issue. Locally, we cannot solve the problem because evil, unfortunately, evil is organized and it is transnational, it is global. And when I say evil, it is evil who really profit, both in terms of money, in terms of power, controlling, and they profit from conflicts and wars. And therefore, we need to bypass the government. And I really do not trust any local government, not even international ones. There are two reasons. One is locally, even we change our governments, even if we establish justice and peace, wonderful heaven, the evil around us, they will not accept this because you are becoming a bad example according to them, according to evil. They will try to turn it to hell, create conflict, export troubles to your country, and even wage wars, unjustified wars. It's very easy to create some false flag stuff and then accuse you of doing terrorism and stuff. Therefore, locally, I don't think we are able to fight this beast which we have created. And
can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. And therefore, in order for us to be able to be successful, to establish freedom, individual rights and freedoms, to establish social and economic equality, and eliminate this big gap between 1% and 99%, it is roughly put that way, and eliminate the billionaire class, which is, it is cancer. Let me tell you, cancer in our body. If a cell grows so much, it creates trouble for the whole body. Billionaire class is a cancer in the society. They are suckers. They are the worst of the people. And therefore, we need to unite our forces, our voices, and transcend the national borders created around us. And I hope that we'll be able to do something. It all starts with this kind of circles, and then we unite, and then we change. Hopefully, by God's help, we'll change the situation. Even if we cannot change, working in the process of change by itself, it is an imperative duty on us, both ethical and also pragmatic way. If you look at it pragmatically, that's fine. We are not condoning any violence in any shape, any form, and we are transparent. I am transparent, and we are going to record this. If you are scared of your voice, if you are scared of your shadow, don't come here. If you cannot stand for truth and justice, and if you are not brave enough for that, then you or I, if I'm coward, I deserve the evil people to lead me. And that is my invitation, my dear friends. I am not assuming leadership of anything. I want to be catalyst. And then I will, if there's a time need to fade away, I will fade away. And it is just to be together and share ideas. I want you to be consistent about this. I hope that at least I'm not inviting you to wars or in paying money to anything. There is no much risk involved, only allocation of your time. We'll share ideas and we may talk about weekly issues, but ultimately we want to invite certain organizations and create groups of peace activists around the world. There are already many civil organizations around the world. They promote peace. Of course, the condition of peace needs to, there must be freedom, no tyrannical regimes. And the second, there must be economic equality, and means people should not be hungry, should not be homeless, and we need to share the basic necessities. And then we could have extra luxury, or maybe in today's terminology, universal basic income. Therefore, I welcome everyone here, and I want to open subject with one issue, or anyone have you think that is an issue we discuss. One is today, only yesterday, the Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan converted Saint Sophia, Hagia Sophia. Sophia means wisdom. Saint Sophia means holy wisdom. And that church, I don't know, about 1500-year-old church, it was conquered, Istanbul was conquered in 1453 by Sultan Fatih. And that news right now is one of the major news in the world, because it has a symbolic, it is a symbolic move. Symbolically says, it is like, you know, this mosque, I say, this Saint Sophia Church is a symbol of Orthodox Christians. It's the biggest symbol. It is ancient, and also they have symbolic value for them. It's like the masjid in Qudus in Jerusalem being converted to church or synagogue. There, how you feel, if you are Muslim, how you feel about that, they feel exactly about that. And therefore it is hypocrisy, I think, on the side of Sunnis or Shiites who are savoring this conversion, because they don't like it when any mosque around the world, when it is converted to church. And therefore it is hypocrisy. If you don't like something, you should not be doing the same thing. And it is also creating not peace. I wish they turn it back from museum, turn it back to church. They could even apologize. If I were, I would say this. Yes, about 500 years ago, less than 500, in 1453, people who might be our ancestors, usually they are no one's ancestors, because their progenies, they escaped to, they were sent to Britain, the Ottoman, children of the Ottoman sultans. Well, before us, there were some people, they were aggressing and they were conquering lands, shedding blood, enslaving people in the name of God or in the name of their tribe. And like others, like Western people doing the same thing. We are peaceful. We want to have peace. We don't want to conquer any land. And that time they have this mosque, they turn it to mosque. And later Mustafa Kemal Atatürk turned it to a museum as a respect for Christians. Now we want to apologize for that. We want to turn it to a church. It should be a church. We don't need mosque. We have enough mosques in Istanbul. In fact, they are mostly empty. And therefore, Christian world. And this would create a wonderful goodwill around the world and create an atmosphere of peace, support to Turkey, not the opposite. But with this move, Tayyip Erdogan created more cynicism about Turkey, hostility, and at the, for what price? Well, the price is the economy is bad. They plundered the resources of the country. The gang stole a lot of resources. They got very rich, extremely filthy rich. And he built for himself the biggest mansion palace in the world. The economy is diving down. The country is in a big debt, and people are very poor and starving. There are people starving. Starving means malnutrition. And the minimum wage is below $500 per month. And therefore, the country is, and the credit card is high record, the debt, credit card debt, and many other things. And therefore want to distract people with something. Always two things can distract people: wave the holy book or wave the flag, and sometimes wave both of them if one not is enough. Well, he did a lot of that, and the dose of the hormones, nationalistic or religious hormones, must increase, because it's like drugs. People are getting hungry and poorer and troubled, and therefore you are not solving their problem because you steal, and therefore you need to distract them, make them getting excited with something, false ideas. And but each time the drug, they're not reducing the pain enough. Therefore, he has to increase the dose of the religious and nationalist dogma. Now came to opening, converting Saint Sophia. And the next will be declaring war against Greece. And I think he will not be able to do that, because it will be the demise, because Greece is part of NATO. But this is, I think, his last resort to make people believe something. What they have, nothing. The Turkish people have in their hand the iPhones or Samsung, it is Western. The medical devices, all Western. The cars they are driving, Western. And they are declaring to the Western world war, like ISIS. Allahu Akbar, all they do, and then wave flags and holy books. A stupid way of, even if they want to wage war, but it is the most stupid way, because they are dependent on the Western technology and help. They borrow money from the West, and then supposedly they declare whatever, khilafah. This is bothersome. I would like to leave to you, what do you think about that? First, religiously it is wrong, because according to the Quran, there is no compulsion in religion. You cannot convert others' temples or synagogues or churches to masjid. Absolutely, it is wrong. And then the other thing, politically it's wrong, economically it's wrong. It is not good for world peace.
Edip, can I say something?
Who is this?
Yes, this is Bindu. Hi.
Yeah, go ahead, Bindu.
Can I just say something about your comment?
Go ahead.
In my observation, what is happening in the East is that they have become level with the West in one way. They have secured the technology, the cell phones, the latest gadgets, and for them that represents wealth and modern behavior. The problem with that is people have grabbed onto the quickest thing to make them look modern, but the level of education and the actual achievement, meaning education-wise, is low. People are not striving to become better and more intelligent. They're trying to grab the quickest thing so they look equal parity now among the West. But that's not a reflection of true wealth. That does not add to the GDP to buy stuff. You actually have to, every country has to produce their scientists and their mathematicians. And that's how the country really, really progresses.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they have delusional, basically, look, perception, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think it will help the country. It doesn't help. In fact, it is illusion. It fools them. It gives them a false sense of power. And
Yes.
It is not power. And also considering power as a fighting with another nation, challenging them, it is not a good way of having power. we should promote peace. We should promote a good relation with other countries, not look for excuses to create conflicts. Yes. Anyone would like to, or you can change this topic um, about any issues you would like to talk that involve the peace or justice or freedoms.
Edip, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I have a question for you. This program is only for English language. We can't talk another language.
No, it is English. We cannot have multiple languages.
Okay.
It will make it really not workable.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Is there any suggestion how can we move forward in terms of to have this circle? Of course, I have an idea, but I don't know about what your idea, because I would like to be contacting other peace organizations around the world and or organizations that promote justice. And anyway, I need to turn this one off. I'm sorry. Maybe we have meeting with the leaders of these organizations and or have some groups, because we will not, one day will come, will not be able to fit in this. But ultimately, after COVID-19 passes, I would like to have a conference somewhere in the United States. That means face-to-face, physically meeting each other. It could be in one of the universities, but there are certain things we can promote in terms of change in laws. One is we put goal, what kind of world we want, our dream world, and then step by step, what could we do? But it should be a worldwide movement so that we can demand on government in whole voice. For example, if our government leaders want to wage war to another country, even talk of the war, they should, their kids, their family members should be by law in front line. If I am the leader of a country, I think it is a just war. Our country is at danger. We need to defend our lives and our freedoms. Well, if I am patriot, I claim I'm the leader of the patriots. If I ask people, their kids should go to this war, and myself, my kids should be in front of line, 100%. I should be. If I am not, then I am lying. Then I'm not a patriot, then I'm a coward, and I cannot be a leader. Therefore, a leader, or I do not believe in this word, that means. If it is really justified, therefore, we should be expecting this kind of expectation and demand, then the leaders on top or the members of Congress, when they try to kind of wage wars and talk about warmongering, they would think not only twice, 5 times, 10 times they would think, because they know that their kids will be front lines and will be following that. People say, we want to see if the children of the poor dies, let's say 9 of them, 1 of them should be the children of the richest people, the children of the member of Congress. If the ratios go down, there is problem with this war. We are not going to do that war. We will not go fight for you. And therefore, this kind of understanding we need to pass. And if you are going to declare a war against another country, you should be in front public. You should be, I want to see these 2 leaders discuss. I want to hear both sides. We should be demanding that. Why we are not? We are just listening to one side and telling us anything, any lies, and the other side also listening to their leader. He makes up lies in order to justify their war. And then the children of the poor people, they go kill each other for what? For warmongers, for psychopaths, or for the very greedy people. And this is just one of many examples that how can we also, the ideas start like seed. And from me, you, and we learn from each other, and then we share with others. Then we get organized, and then it will become powerful ideas. we need to hold them responsible. We don't need to subjugate ourselves to pharaohs. Pharaohs, their power is due to slaves, the mentality of slaves or people. Therefore, we need to free ourselves. Yes, Kerem, welcome. Nice to hear from you. Ali Kartal, welcome. And I wish that I knew how to have co-hosts so that they will admit people when they come here.
Hi, Edip. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hi, Juan Ibn here. For me, if we want to fight against this war and terrorism, we have to understand what peace means first, right? Being a Quran-only person, I study Quran a lot, For me, the Din al-Islam, means the way of life towards the real peace. Islam, il-Salam for me, means the peace, It's
Yes.
what our Creator wants us to be guided in parallel to His teaching, So again, for me, Din al-Islam is not religion, Din is not religion, it's the way of life, the way we run our life, from the way we think, the way we dress, we take care of our health, we take care of our environment, we take care of our society, neighbors, and all within it, So again, if we understand like that, we can really promote peace, Okay, we will respect those who still believe the religion, my religion is this, your religion is that, and whatnot. Okay, we respect them, Again, if we are going to promote this, for me, we have to be above of all this, Again, as for my understanding, for me, all are brothers. If they are promoting peace, they believe in peace, they talk politely, they handle things nicely, This is the real thing. For me, I don't care what religion are you on, That is all being passed by your forefathers, So again, you're talking about the pollution, Of course, pollution means non-pollution means peace. Pollution means it's a war, against the environment, terrorism and all that. They're so confined of what they believe, what their God, their God, is telling them to do. But again, if they really read the Quran, God just wants us to promote peace.
Thank you very much.
You
didn't introduce your name and.
My name is Juan Ibn. I'm from Malaysia.
No one got your name because you say it very fast and that's okay. But I see iPhone. You could open up your name next time, inshallah, when you come here, God willing.
Inshallah, My name, you can call me Juan Ibn al-Bahar.
Oh, Juan Ibn al-Bahar. Okay.
Yes.
So you are from Malaysia. Nice to see you and hear from you.
Sure. We've been friends for long also, Edip,
Yeah,
okay.
we have been in communication. Great. And
yes.
Yes, go ahead.
You mentioned evil are organized. That is one thing that I learned. I start to realize now. Yes, they are an organized people now, So again, if we are going to fight against evil, we have to be more organized. So the way you organize this is very good, I believe one day we can have a very good resolution, you know, of what need to be done, you know, towards our way of thinking, and also until we get it up to the right people in our government. Yeah. Although in Malaysia, we're not really in war type of position, but here we are more in political struggle now. Everyone want to be the government here. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I do been exposed to all the international news about the Turkish, yeah, want to change the Hagia Sophia, yeah, into a mosque. Is it a mosque? Yeah, they want to change to.
Yes. No, it is museum. They want to change it to mosque.
Yeah, it's a museum.
Yeah, thank you very much. Right. We need to get a little bit shorter. In fact, you should cut me too.
Sure.
And the other gentlemen, they are listening. If we make it longer than 2 minutes, it's too much. And me too,
sure.
And I should be reminded.
Thank you.
But sometimes the introduction may be a little bit more than that. Go ahead. Next one. Yes.
Edip, I just wanted to mention a few things. You know, first of all, I came here to join specifically because there was the idea that this will be transcending beliefs, religious beliefs, and that kind of thing, which I think is important. Having been involved in some conferences in South Africa a few years ago and speaking with South Africans recently in trying to get another conference going, but on an international basis, just to your point, I had spoken to people there that any conference should be based on what you're talking about right now, which would be something that would have peace at its center and would transcend any religious belief. So I'm happy with that, to hear that that's what is happening. Yeah, so just I'd be very interested to participate here on that basis. I think if we're moving towards transcending those labels, because in essence, peace for me is really a situation where everybody has a right to freedom. Everybody has a right to safety and security, as long as they don't infringe on the freedom of others. And everybody has a right to freedom as long as they don't infringe on the safety and security of others. And that's the essence of peace. And that's what I would like to drive forward. So I'm happy this is happening, and I hope we can move it forward.
Absolutely. And we are not going to discuss theology here. Therefore, in terms of theology, I mean the subject of Iman. Iman is personal, or a group of people may have trust in God. They may be polytheists, that's fine. It is their choice. But our choice together, it involves our relationship with each other, how we treat each other. It is a matter of absolutely objective reasoning, and on the basis of being human being, brothers and sisters on this little planet. Therefore, it is based on social contract, on discussing the issues. It is based on universal principle of justice and freedom and peace. And therefore, this is not a philosophical discussion. In philosophical discussions, I would love to take on Christians and atheists and Hindus, and no problem. I have no mercy when it is in philosophical things. And but at the same time, those people who I may be very sharp in my arguments and criticism, but at the same time, I will treat them like my brothers and sisters. I have to treat them with justice. And therefore, these are the two things I think it's mixed up. And we are all brothers and sisters regardless our thing. In fact, all the messengers and prophets of God invited people to this as one. We are all one body. Therefore, we should have empathy and towards each other. Go ahead, Najafi Hussein.
Yes. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
There are many issues that you mentioned. in respect to the time of everyone, I just want to give a few words on each one of them. One thing that it promotes warmongers to be involved on their programs is the power, and part of the power is money. And one of the wars that, at least during my time, we have seen continuously is going on is in Middle East. Why warmongers are interested in Middle East? Putting politics of the Israel on the side is the oil. So in order to defeat the warmongers in Middle East and their oil, we have to downplay the gasoline. That means if every one of us in every one of the county, city, state commissioners programs that we attend, and we talk about electric cars instead of gasoline cars, it makes a huge dent into this profit of the warmongers.
Yeah.
The second one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I want on this point, I think on its own merit about pollution of the air and global climate change, it is a worthy call. But I think we would be gullible if we think that when the oil becomes not as a necessity like now, and the wars will end, they will fight over anything. Because it is really evil, greed on anything. There are so many minerals, resources, they will fight over water, over land, empty land, even desert. Therefore, it is just an excuse. They need to kind of have conflict and wars. And this is now they are doing for oil. Tomorrow they will do for something else. And throughout history, even before oil, people fought with each other. Even the world almost empty. There were people fighting over each other for more land, which they couldn't really even populate. They couldn't even use it. And because it is evil, it is really evil that the Quran starts. I should not talk about that, but from the beginning of the world, I highly recommend you to watch a 3-minute wonderful history of the world by Nina Paley. This land is mine. Write it down somewhere. It is one of the best summary of the human history. This land is mine. It is an animation, but it shows what we are doing. And it is unbelievable how much misery we inflict on each other. And therefore, it is so obvious that we need to stand against this war machine, military-industrial complex, and also other source that only empower few people among us. We need more egalitarian world and eliminate wars. And those who are warmongers, we should unite against them, regardless of our nation, regardless our color, regardless our religion. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Najafi. Or anyone else,
I agree
please.
with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you that the war has been within the humanity from day number one. If it's not oil, it would be something else. But at least these days, within last decades, oil has been focal point of creating policies and moving, promoting industrial complex of the military to move towards those issues. That means that's a big word, but they're doing a lot of agendas. They're doing promoting through the Congress here, there, international laws that how to change the laws in such a way that it makes the road easier for military complex to work properly. Why? Because they make money. There is money to it. Why there is money into it? Because the policy of the country is into it. Why there is a policy of the country? Because they want to take the oil much cheaper. And why they want to take the oil cheaper? Because cars have a application for it. Now, by saying that going to the commissioners or commissioners meetings or a state representative or contacting your congressman or senators and so forth, you don't have to go exactly right to the point that we don't want oil. You have to approach it on different levels to convince them not to use gasoline cars, rather electric cars. Environment, air pollution is one of those issues that we can direct them indirectly into convince them that they do not use electric, convince the car companies not to use the gas cars instead of electric cars. Now, all these they are very successful within the Western world, America, Canada, part of Europe, that we are part of capitalism. Capitalism or consumerism is promoting people to use more and more and waste more and more. And all these involve people to make more, and therefore they have to fight it, make money, to get money, to use it, to consume it, waste it more, and so forth. So converting capitalism or consumerism into socialism, it would be a much better way. It would be a much more effective way. It does reduce a lot of wars around the world. Now, in regard to the converting the museum into the mosque, it looks like the church, especially the Orthodox Church in Russia, has a big objection to this issue. But, and that, again, it shows there's no any other religion, religious orders that I know around the world that they have any objection to it. It's a church that has objection. That tells me that there is a war and war power going within the church system per se, between Islam and Christians and Muslims and Jews and others. From Quran point of view, it says, chapter 72, chapter Jinn, verse 18, all mosques, all places of the prostration belongs to God. Do not mention any other names in there. If the church wants to get that museum and convert it to the church, in the church, they worship Jesus. They put a statue of Jesus. At least in the mosque, however they do it, that goes to the details. At least on the principle of the issue, they bow down before one God. They prostrate. They worship one God, at least in their mind. However, they have been misguided. Again, that's another issue. I don't see anything wrong with it, especially in Turkey, that the population of the Muslim community is growing and they need more space. And why not? Such a nice place, they convert it to the mosque. So be it.
No.
Hello, Najafi. Can I add my input here?
Go ahead,
Edip?
please. Go ahead.
I'm just thinking that it's such a pure political play on the side of Erdogan, just because on the polls his approval rating was lower. I think it's just a political move for the election coming up. I don't think he has any motivation to open the space for Muslims to pray or whatever. Do you agree with that, Edip?
It is beyond that. It is regardless, even his intention is there. I think it is, first of all, Najafi, I think, unfortunately, you are missing the point, brother Najafi. The Quran, of course, according to Quran, monotheism should be. The truth is there, and therefore you should not call anyone besides God. But you cannot impose this on other people. According to Quran, there is no compulsion, and whoever wants to accept should accept. Whoever wants to deny, they should deny freely, and it is clear verses of the Quran. Therefore, converting church is not something good. You cannot be more for God than God for himself. And therefore, if God says there must be freedom and a Christian can practice their religion and they may do idol worship, it is up to them. If Sunnis they do, to me, in fact, there is no difference between Sunni or Catholic or Shiite and Catholic. They are all polytheists. Absolutely, according to the Quran, no difference, only their idol different. One says Jesus, the other say Muhammad, the other say Ali, and they worship humans besides God. They associate them. Therefore, in terms of polytheism, they are all polytheistic. However, Regardless, they should be, if something is built as a church, should not be converted to mosque. Something built as a mosque should not be converted to church. There must be mutual respect to each other's choices and freedoms. If we don't have this, is absolutely, is against, in fact, to your own belief. If you follow the Quran, and we can discuss later, but in fact, we should be, again, the beginning we said, what we want for ourselves, we should be able to want for other people too, as long as they are not imposing their things on us, and as long as we don't impose on them. That is the way we attain peace. We cannot attain peace with your mentality, brother Najafi. You say, well, it is okay to turn them to mosque because mosque is closer to my theology. Well, you say, well, power makes it right because I am powerful, I own this land, I can do it. Therefore, you have no right to complain when they turn all the mosques into churches, because you are using your power to change it. You didn't use any good reasoning. Good reasoning should be in terms of conducive to peace and justice. Anyway.
Then how do you respond that, let's say the local community in that city, in that area, the number of the people that they vote and they're taxpayers, they vote and they all come to agreement that this place should be converted to the mosque. And just because there are so many of them, the popularity, the population of that area is such a way that they all voted this matter happen. Then won't you think that this is a local area, local issue, not international?
No, I think it is, there are certain things in democracies, it doesn't mean popular vote makes some of the things right. In fact, in a good democracy, constitutional democracy, the rights of the minorities, weak people are protected from the majority. That's the way. If we are just saying only popular vote, therefore, if those people decide to enslave Christians or Jews in their country, you say, well, people want this, they love it, majority of people, therefore they should be able to, they should discriminate, they should be able to do racism.
Edip abi, can I have a word?
Go ahead, please. You are driving, be careful. I love you when you are driving, Tolga.
I am driving, but here is the problem. This was done 570 years ago. With your analogy, okay, let's convert this to church. Then another question might come: why don't Turks leave Turkey because it belonged to Greek, and before the Greek it belonged to Persians? I think your analogy is not going to work here, Edip abi.
Look, my analogy
it is not logical to me. The second thing, the games had different rules back then. People were conquering places, concepts were different. There were different games played with different rules. Now we have something different. If you look at Europe, other than Üsküp, some churches, some mosques, they could not destroy, but they were able to destroy any other mosque built by Ottoman. Last century, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 400 years ago, we built a lot of mosques in East Europe. They were all destroyed except a few small musalla and some mosques in Üsküp. That is a reality too. So I do not see, I was listening to everybody last a few days talking about the Hagia Sophia being converted to mosque. I think it shouldn't be a political issue, but it is the right of people in Turkey, same like the conquering of Istanbul. Turks did not conquer Istanbul because they wanted to hurt people. They were coming after us for big time. There were many reasons we conquered Istanbul. After putting your life on the table, I think it is our right to convert that one. Those were the games back then. If you compare the rules during that time and the rules right now, that is not fair. Because right now they go to Turkey, they do all type of missionary activities. We come here, we talk about Islam too, that is just fine. But the rules were different back then.
Hear me.
If you think your mindset, all the Turks should leave Turkey right now. All the maybe even the Greeks should leave, because before Greek, the Istanbul belonged to Persians. I mean, you cannot find a solution that way. The second thing is to bring peace. If you look at the animals, if you look at the plantations, a lot of plants, something very common. To find the justice, the most powerful one should want justice and peace and everything else. If a lot of small group wants peace, and if you do not have the power to impose that, you are not going to be able to bring peace to anybody, because the big guy, always the big fish, swallows the small fish. It is always the rule. I didn't see that rule being changing in any part of the world. So on that one, I agree.
That rule will not change as long as people think like you do. Listen, Tolga, my dear friend, the very reason that rule is leading, because people like you abide by the very rule. You don't want to change it. You say, we keep the rule, it is a good rule. And it is a bad rule, but we have to abide by it. The very acceptance yielding to this rule, it is why these rules lost. And let me tell you about the logical problem that you have. Your comparison between about 500 years ago, it was conquered, therefore we need to leave. First of all, it is too big gap. You don't have even your ancestors, no one can even list their ancestors to 500 years before. It is those people who live there, who were evicted from Istanbul, they don't even live, not even their children, not their even grandchildren, not grandchildren. Therefore, too much time passed. We are not responsible, you are not responsible for those people who invaded Istanbul, conquered Istanbul. However, you have a living thing there, a living, an existing building, which is a symbol of those people, a sacred place for those people who are not only their ones, they are all around the world, respecting their emotions and their religious things. Any person with decency, with sense of justice, will say, okay, this 500 years ago, those people who were our ancestors or not ancestors, whoever they were, they attacked these people and they conquered their land, they killed them, they subjugated them. It was evil, bad. But
no, Edip abi, you are 100% wrong on that one, because you are making a lot of historical knowledge. I'll tell you, I'll make one statement. If it wasn't Turks, entire region will be 70% Mongolian probably. Turks stop the Mongolians, Turks stop the Crusaders. If there is an existence of Muslims, we belong those to Ottoman and Seljuki. If you do not understand that, that means you have no idea, you have no knowledge of history. There is no need to talk over it again and again. They did a lot of wrong things maybe, but
okay,
for the most part,
assume it was a justified, okay? I will not discuss this. Assume that it was justified conquest. Okay, you say my ancestors who conquered Istanbul, they were very good, and Byzantine Empire was very evil, and therefore both of them were evil. They fought, or one of them better. Regardless, right now it is a building left from that time. That building is sacred for many people around the world. Therefore, you don't need it. Hello? Have you run out of places in Istanbul? No. Do you want to eat the building? Is it a cake that you are hungry, starving to eat this cake, Saint Sophia cake? No, it's not edible. You don't have kind of, you didn't run out of space to sleep. to work. It is just symbolically you are declaring what? You say, I am powerful. What is the purpose? You just invite conflict. I say, if you are a peacemaker, if you are a smart person, gain friends instead of gaining animosity, hostility, and enemies. Why in the world to make it, turn it to a mosque? Keep it as it is. But you are changing, you are basically, you are beating your chest. There's no reason for that. First of all,
one question. Arabs and Persians, Turks do not have any oil in the region. They've been giving their oil to West and everybody else. How much friendship they establish by giving all they have to others? And the same question, our African brothers and sisters, they are giving everything they have to Western civilization. Their diamond, gold, oil, coffee, everything else. How much friendship and how much peace they establish by giving everything they have to Western civilization? Just ask that question. If you can have an answer for that question, then I'll say, okay, let's also give Sultan Ahmed to them, if you can have an answer for that one.
You are giving an example of a wrong relationship, a bad thing, to justify something another bad. Now, I never supported imperialism or never support the stooges, imperialist stooges who sell their country's resources to powerful nations. No, but it is different. You are not, by the way, you are not gaining anything. You are gaining, in fact, you are losing peaceful people in the Western world who might be your support, who may be supporting some of your causes, but you are declaring them as an enemy because of their just religion. And it is nothing to do really with this economy stuff. If you want Turkey to do something against this imperialism, what you should do, instead of having this stupid fight, beating your chest, invest on sciences. Universities of Turkey do not even make it 300 top universities in the world. Spend your money on that. But now these guys spend money on mansions, the biggest mansion in the world, but universities in Turkey, hundreds of universities, do not make even to 300 top universities. Just simple fact. Increase the economic situation, increase the freedoms. And if Turkey, people cannot even criticize the political power, and you are living in hell and you declare you are great, you are against whatever the Western world. This is not a smart way of going. It is not a peaceful way of going around. And this is not a winning way. Turkey will not win. ISIS did much better. Again, ISIS did fight much better. They declared La ilaha illallah and they waved flags, and then they say we don't recognize the Western world. What they did? They destroyed themselves. And this is another destruction of Turkey. You are dependent. Turkey is dependent. Everything, God, goodness sake. You get your weapons from the Western world right now. You are supposedly declaring them as bad, and you are taking the mosque, but you are dependent on them in terms of your weapons, even your food. Turkey import food, grains from Israel. This is just ridiculous, stupid things. You are in every way, you are depending even your food to the Western world, and you are symbolically beating your chest. This is the most stupid fight ever I ever seen.
Edip, yesterday it was all over the news, international news, that July 10, internationally known as the day of genocide to the Muslims in Bosnia. Only God knows how many thousands of Muslims were killed, and the crime was just he was Muslim. Turkey right now is not killing the Christians. Turkey, well, there is one thing we're saying, we don't know exactly what the local environment is. We don't know how many people file a petition. We don't know who's the owner of that property. They are not killing the Christians. They are not humiliating or in any form or shape, except they are saying We want to convert these people, this place, to worship one God. If
No, stop it. One God. It is God plus Muhammad plus Abu Bakr plus.
Well,
stop it. It's nothing to do with one God.
With you. I agree with you. The way that you know Islam and I do, and we have been on that issue for the last 30 years or 20, and you showed up in my program on oneness of the God, that we talk about oneness of the God for hours. We know, you and me, we know oneness of the God and how it should be. We know the world of Sunnism and Shiism and Catholicism and the rest of them, they are all polytheists. And they are worshiping other deities beside the oneness of God. That's beside the point. But at least at its minimum, there are one intention. They bow down. They bow down before the oneness of Allah.
They worship Tayyip Erdogan. These people, I know Turkish people more than you do. They worship Tayyip Erdogan. Their God is Tayyip Erdogan. Hello. This guy is doing this for only one reason alone. He stole the resources of people. He starved people. He put thousands, tens of thousands of people who criticize his lies, who criticize his plunder, his theft. He put them in prison. He killed many Kurdish people. He created a hell in Turkey. You have no idea. In order to distract people, he is bringing this religious exploitation. Like Donald Trump took a Bible in his hand when gave a post. This is exactly this. And this is nothing to be supportive of. Yes.
Just because he brought hardship to the Turkish people, and that goes back to your roots, and that creates some kind of negative against him, that doesn't mean that he's not promoting the Quran and Islam. I have seen many of videos of him. He's promoting the oneness of God.
You are very ignorant. However, you are very ignorant on this subject, my dear brother. You cannot be more wrong than ever. You are defending a guy who is the biggest liar in Turkey, biggest thief in Turkey, biggest murderer in Turkey. You have no idea, but it is, the Quran says, فَلَا يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورِ. The deceiver should not deceive you in the name of God. And you are deceived, my brother. You have no idea. I wish I would like to talk to you on the phone. You have no clue about Turkey. You watch it on the phone, on the things. Yes, he talked. Like Donald Trump. Christian things. Oh, Donald Trump is promoting Christian rights and stuff. Exactly similarly, how these evangelical Christians are attracted to Donald Trump. You, because of your religious whatever you hear, it pleases you, and you lose your mind. You are attracted to someone who exactly like Donald Trump, even worse than Donald Trump. But exactly this is the same weakness we have. The weakness is because he talks like I do. He prays like I do. Therefore, he must be a good person. This is a very weak thing, my brother. You have no idea. This guy in Turkey right now, millions of people becoming atheists because of the corruption in the name of God this guy did. You have no idea. This guy, listen, his family, they got billionaires. His son became billionaire. His wife. You are talking about God. What God are you talking about, my dear friend? When people are starving in Turkey, burning themselves because they are starving, this guy's wife, from people's tax money in Belgium, in one purchase, he purchased one bag, $49,995. She paid for just single bag from people's money. Why you don't think? This guy is like Pharaoh, like Harun, building the biggest palace in the world. Is it the way of godly people? Which messenger, prophet of God from people's money built themselves the biggest mansion in the world? This guy, his friends, they are all getting money. The people's money is, instead of investing to economy, to education, he invests in concrete, streets and buildings, they stole money from there. And now people cannot eat concrete. And his opposition, he always put them in jail. In jail, there are many, listen, because there were academicians, they signed peace, a declaration for peace. Don't kill Kurdish people, don't kill Alevites, let's have peace. Just because signing a peace, wonderful, these are people from different groups. very different ethnic groups, different religious groups, academicians. They wanted peace because there were so many killing going on in Turkey. And he put them behind the prison, and some of them lost their lives. And this is a tyrant. And this guy says something yesterday, and today is changing tomorrow. How in the world do you think, because he talks about God, and he says exactly this is it? You know, like Kenyatta said, Kenyatta, the people came, priests came to Africa. They had Bible in their hand. We had our land. They said, let's pray. Let's close our eyes and pray. You know it. And then we closed our eyes, we prayed, and then we opened our eyes. We found out that they have the land. We have the Bible in our hand. This guy is exactly doing this. And I am very disappointed that a person like you can be duped because of the symbolism this guy does.
Edip, you brought the issue of Turkish and how he was against it. That I don't know. I don't know. You know it. You are more into it than I know. But the personal life of the people, how much money they gain, how they live, where they spend the money, people's money, that's between them and God knows exactly the innermost thoughts of every person.
It's not secret. No. It is obvious. They don't have any money-making things. When they came to power, he said, I have only one ring. I don't have personal belonging. He was poor. Now he is the richest person with his family in Turkey. He got it through all these cronies, all these corruption. And besides, he was the one in Syria, smuggled weapons and psychopaths, ISIS psychopaths for years to promote internal war in Syria. It was United States, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and Qatar. These are 4 countries supporting Turkey, and in fact, Qatar and Saudi Arabia giving Turkey billions of dollars for this. They wanted to divide Syria. Instead of try to promote peace, they were promoting war there. And Tayyip Erdogan for years did this. Not only that, attacked Afrin, the Kurdish city, invaded, they killed many civilians there, and you don't care about those because he's talking about God, he's waving Quran, he says minaret. This is the most ridiculous way of supporting a guy, my dear friend.
No, Edip, you bring the politics to it. There is much more into it than we didn't anticipate. But whatever this guy does, whoever he is, it's between him and God. All I know on the surface, on a different country in the West, all I know, if the people of Turkey in that city, within that museum, they were going to convert that place to Christianity mosque, no any other Christians have any objections to it. Muslim probably, I don't know. But what people in that area have voted, and they want to convert that place to the mosque, the Orthodox Church, the head of Orthodox Church of Russia has no place to object to it. If the local church has some objection to it, that would be a different story.
Okay, okay, stop there. Israel takes over, conquer, conquer the Jerusalem, correct? And then wants to convert the mosque over there, the masjid, into a synagogue. According to your own reasoning, and the majority of people, let's say, yes, vote for that, and then you have no way objecting that. If you are objecting, you become hypocrite, my dear friend. Are you okay with that? Israel conquered, like Ottomans conquered Istanbul.
You got to see at the background of it that how Israel conquered all that land. It was all by force and by killing.
The same Ottomans did by force. Do you think they did it with the kind of niceness? They sang songs and then
that was their land from day number 1. If they took it back from Romans, that's a different story.
They took back from Rome. They didn't take back. It was not their land.
That was their land. It was not their land. Come on. One of the beginning, that was their land.
It was not their land. No.
They didn't force the Romans by killing, by this and that.
You have no idea. No,
They
no,
took
no,
the land
no,
back.
no, 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 no. It was not. You have no idea. There were no Turks there. It was Roman Empire for a long time. It was
For a long
Byzantine.
time. But eventually, they sounds like you're saying that, you know,
There were no
Muslims.
Turks there. Turks came from Siberia, from Mongolia.
Sounds like you say that Muslims, they kicked the Romans out of the Jerusalem after many, many, many decades of occupation.
Yeah.
It wasn't their
all,
land.
listen. It is
Jerusalem
all
wasn't their
people
land.
occupied
Romans
each
left.
other's land. Unfortunately, humans are aggressors. I don't want
But
to say...
Edip abi,
Huh.
again, you need to study a little bit history. Before the Rome, Constantinople belonged to Persians. So with your mindset, maybe we need to ask Persians what to do with that building, because that land belonged to Persians. We need to ask our Iranian brothers and sisters. Maybe they want to make a Zardoshi building. So your analogy does not work.
Listen, my dear
Games are
brother,
being played with
you are
different rules.
confusing. I accept.
Confusing.
Let me accept your thing. You say the power you conquer it, it is yours. You can do whatever you want to the master's things. And with the power, of course, before Jewish people, there was something else. And then now Jewish people come in, occupy in Jerusalem. And they say, well, we occupy like Ottoman occupied, or like Romans did, or like before Romans, Persian did, before Persian, whatever. Since we are justifying this conquest and the after conquest converting their mosque and their things, here it says, I am using power like others did, your ancestors. You are glorifying your ancestors who conquered other lands by force. And I am right now power on my side, I am conquering. And then you say it is the price of the sword. It is the share of the sword. Kılıç hakkı. It is the share of my tank and my bullets. I am going to convert Masjid al-Aqsa, your holy place, into a synagogue. If you really oppose this, you are in contradiction, clear contradiction. You are a hypocrite, my dear friend. I say you should not do this. If you do this, you are justifying another power, another conversion. Simple. The world sees it. And you are going to lose this because even logic, how to say, pragmatically you are going to lose. Not only principally you lost, also pragmatically you are losing because you are powerless and you are little power you have, you are challenging the powerful and you are going to be biggest loser and you will cry. You will say they are converting the mosques. Well, Najafi, everywhere, all the mosques in the Christian world should be converted to church, and you have no right to oppose. They will say, well, people around, they want it. It's exactly like your justification. People want it. Well, didn't you say people want the Saint Sophia become mosque? It is okay if people want it. And here it is, people in this country, they want these mosques to be transformed to churches. Then you are going to lose. And your mosque should be lost. And I'm going to vote for that. I'm going to vote all the mosques in the United States to be converted to churches or synagogues. What about that?
Excuse me.
What will you tell me?
Excuse me, guys. Can I just interrupt just for a bit? Yeah. Okay. One thing, we are not in political discussion right now, so I hope we didn't touch on personality and all that. Yeah. For me, this peacemaker meeting is more on trying to find a standard. You know, what is really needed to be in priority to find peace. That's all. You know, and
Beautiful.
for me, you know,
It's okay. I think that the rule is if we want something for us, we should want for the others too.
Yeah, just a bit more. Yeah, for me, you know, if there is a church or synagogue or whatever, you know, a mosque and something like that, but if, you know, the society there agree peacefully, this should be a museum, let's say. So again, if we really promoting peace, we should allow that, no, you know. So there's no personal matters, yeah, happening or we take into priority anymore. It's more about the peacefulness. Even if the minority and the majority agree that place going to be turned into town hall, let's say, it's okay for me, you know. Just a quick one. Thanks.
Well, it is not
Very
good
good.
for...
That's very good. That's exactly what I was trying to say, that if the local people in a peaceful fashion, they vote and they are willing to convert the place to something else, so be it.
No.
It shouldn't be political.
No.
It shouldn't be on the political arena. It shouldn't be on it. In this case, the heads of the church around the world object to it and they make a political agenda out of it. Local people agree to it, so be it.
Well, local people in the United States that will agree to turn your mosque to churches, and you have to accept it, correct? Are you going to accept it?
If there are local people that they are Muslims and they're getting together in their mosque and they're happy with it, no one has any objection to it.
No. I mean, in the United States, listen carefully, please, my dear friend. In the United States, not local people in a city decided to turn the mosque into a church. They voted, majority of them happy, peacefully. And who are you or the other people complained, correct? You say that's okay, correct? They should be able to church. Huh?
It all depends to the local rules and situation, and every situation is different.
I know. I'm giving you a simple hypothetical based on your claims. You ask me similar hypothetical, I will answer. The hypothetical is, if the people, local people in the United States act like the local people in Istanbul, they decide to convert the biggest mosque in New York into a church, and the majority of Americans vote for it, will you say it is okay? We should not, no one should, Iran or any country's business, it's not, they should not condemn it, they should not criticize it. And local people decided to convert to church.
Your mistake is, my dear friend, is that you mixing up two things, and that's not right. You're giving the example of converting the mosque to the church. But these people in Turkey, they are not converting the church to the mosque. They're converting museum. Museum is not the church.
It was built as a church, and it
forget that. That's gone. That's gone.
Listen,
now it's a museum.
It is a holy church. It is a holy church for many people.
Whatever it was in the back in their grandma's time, that's gone.
Then here it is. Then it is for you. It is okay if Israel decides turn first the Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem to museum first, and then later turn to synagogue. Then according to you, that should be okay.
That's forceful condition over there.
Oof. Anyway.
Well,
the Turkish government is doing forceful condition too, using the government power to do that.
So you're saying that it's the government behind it and not the local people? Is that what you're saying?
Well, local people in Israel, now Israel, the population change, demographic change.
Forget the Israel. In Turkey, you're saying that the federal government of the Turkey is behind this issue and it's not the local people?
Local people, even, let's say, if local people happy to kill someone, innocent person, in order to be happy, we cannot justify that, my dear friend. Therefore, every decision by local people is not justifiable. Therefore, we are talking about the principle. Principle is respecting other people's religious buildings. And this is built on that, and it is number one, symbolic value, as Masjid al-Aqsa is symbolic for you. Therefore, if you don't want to be treated, you treat others the way you want to be treated. Forget about that one. You are not able to have this rule, golden rule, follow this golden rule. I say, at least my brother Hussein Najafi, follow the silver rule. Don't treat others the way you don't want to be treated. Don't treat their holy building the way that you don't want your holy building treated that way. Simple. Everyone will understand this one, but you are not able because you are going again with religious fanaticism. That's not the way to go to peace. If you want peace, you must be honest and just. If
you didn't, Edip, you didn't answer the question. Are you saying that the government, Turkey's government behind it, or it's the local people that they want to convert
it is led by government. Government is basically controlling all the media. Whatever they tell people, they manipulate people, like the government of North Korea, like the government in Iran, and like the government of Saudi Arabia. And that kind of government is oppressive, authoritarian government. And many people go to jail if they criticize the government. They cannot express. But even if, listen carefully, even if the majority of people want something, if it is wrong, we should be saying wrong. It doesn't justify. Majority of people in the United States, they were racist, discriminating against black people. It didn't make it right. At that time, also, we would be against that. Even now they do, we would stand against that. Therefore, there are certain universal principles. If you don't want something to be done to you, you should not do others. Simple. When I ask you a question, you have problem.
There's one issue that I see with it that unfortunately it looks like you are too much theoretical person rather than practical.
This is
Practicality is dictating different rules than what it says on the book.
Hijran, go ahead.
I don't believe Mr. Yuksel is a theoretical person, because I have enough experience about my country. The government used the power on the people just to keep the dictator regime. I am this person have a problem with my country. For what? For what? Just a speech, my speech, that's it. I'm not cursing my country president. I'm not against my country, my government rules. I'm just talking about the woman rights. Now, I cannot go to the Turkey because they will arrest me. I just talk about the woman rights, that's it. So the vision of the president of Turkey, Erdogan, I don't believe he converted to Hagia Sophia to the mosque. He just tried to cover his butt. I'm so sorry to say it. So he just want to change the atmosphere because he want to try, because he has to do that. So his country has an economical problem, starvation. His country doesn't have human rights. His country doesn't have a good education system. People have been suffering from his decision. The world has to see it. So that's it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Najaf.
You're talking about women's rights in Turkey. What I see from the picture, I'm not Turkish, but what I see from the pictures here and there that I see Beds and Peace, I see the woman on the street, head to head, shoulder to shoulder. They have a right whether to wear hijab or, headscarf, or some of them don't. There is no law that they force them to do certain things. So that gives me some glimpse of idea that they have certain...
Have you have any idea about the sexual harassment? The woman can walk easy at the street. The woman can go out where they want. No. The woman can, the honor killing still existing in the Turkey. If you want to divorce your husband will kill you. Is this freedom?
No, it's not the freedom. It's not right.
Have you checked the rate of the woman murder in the Turkey? Have you checked the child molester? Look, and even the sexual workers rate also increasing every day. Why? Is it illegal prostitute or legal prostitution in the Turkey? Child abusing. So my country has a very biggest issues about the president.
Well, this one can be claimed that it is not the government's, but it is people's culture. You cannot accuse the government if there are laws protecting women and people not doing, like in the United States, laws against discrimination, against racism, but there are racist people doing racism or police violence. You may not be able to accuse the government, but the government should should try those people and penalize those police officers if there is. And in Turkey, yes, unfortunately, many harassers, they get away with harassment. They are released the following day. There is no, the laws there, but it's not applied. And therefore, many women are complaining that the government is lenient towards this issue. And and Lambda, now, what do you think about China converting mosques popularly after popular vote into, do you have a Chinese religion there?
Honestly, I don't know that much about it. I no longer identify very strongly with China. I'm too Americanized, and but honestly, honestly, I agree with the point you just brought up. Yeah, because there's a very strong racist culture in the United States. Actually, racism is the very bedrock of American culture, and so if by popular vote, which is really under control of the racist culture, that that we should discriminate against African Americans, that we should discriminate against Native Americans, then that's still immoral, even though it's the popular vote.
Yes.
Yeah, I think also for yeah, also like for I do really strongly object to how Chinese governments forcing the Uyghurs to abandon Islam, and it's done by force, and there's no freedom of speech there. And
yes, and Brother Najafi, I was a little bit forceful towards you, and I know you as a person. You are my good friend. Therefore, I think you do not have enough knowledge about Turkey. Therefore, my disappointment and reaction is because of that. Because I love you and I respect you, and this is one of the issues we may talk, inshallah, on the phone. And I would love to really give you some more information about what is going on. And you can check other information, of course. And the information I may give you may be biased, but you may not heard part of the story. And I do think so, because what comes from Turkey is very controlled propaganda. Inshallah.
I agree with you that the world, what we see is not exactly what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think you have good intention.
Yeah, there's a lot of facts are going on at any given time that we don't have enough time to research and study every single one of them.
Yeah.
So for last 20 years, I'm not stopped working, and I'm researching every single bits and pieces of the list that I get, but still I'm far behind. You're right, I'm far behind.
Well, it is something you know about Iran more than I do. Therefore, it is Turkey. I am in touch with that. Mustafa Cengiz, you didn't talk at all. Nesrin Obeidi, a few minutes, and then I want to close this meeting.
Oh, hi there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay. I see the peacemaking for globally. Basically, we need to transcend religion, the color, the countries, the tribes. I want a peacemaking for everybody globally, not just for one country. I think we just diverge into an issue, that country-specific issues at the moment. So basically, anything I want for myself, I want it for everybody else, for everyone, regardless of color. Like I said, color, religion, regardless of what they believe. So it needs to be for everybody. So we need to go back. We need to understand the problems. So why there is a war? Why do you want peacemaking? And it's not just the peacemaking; it's also other problems. What are actual problems around the world? The wars. There are some other problems: economic inequalities, social inequality, racism, the political systems, lack of liberty, no tolerance between people, list goes on. So we need to understand and then come up with a solution. And then who creates those problems? You know, why those problems are there? Who creates them? So we need to understand all this and come up with ideas, but it needs to be for everybody. We can debate on what are the problems, and then I think it needs to be again global and discuss, understand the problems, and then come up with solutions, and then find ways of implementing, trying to find ways of how we can implement some of this. But one way, I think you may say, okay, you may identify the problems is coming because of this powerful, I don't know, organizations, countries, whatever. One way of maybe you can think we can try to address them directly, or you can think of maybe we can enlighten people and campaign and make people aware of what's going on so that they understand, educate them, and then they start. Do you know what I mean? So you start from the bottom, from the people, instead of those maybe fighting against those powerful things.
Yeah.
There might be different ways. I'm not sure.
Thank you. Empathy is very important. Be able to put ourselves in the shoes of other party, including our enemies.
Definitely.
Therefore, it will bring us to sense of justice. And I like the Lady Liberty is blindfolded. The ideal is not looking at the person, the identity of the thing, looking at the issues and decide. Even the one you are judging could be your close relative, and you could judge against that person because you didn't know who is the person. And I wish that there was an Orthodox Christian and would like to hear what is their feeling, their sentiment, and how Muslims Sunnis would feel, or Shiites feel about Jerusalem being converted to things. They would have the same feeling. And I would agree with the Sunnis and Shiites that I don't think that Israel should be converting it to synagogue or church. And the same way I agree with the Orthodox that Saint Sophia should be kept as a church, not as a mosque. There are more than enough mosques in Turkey. They are half empty. In fact, more than half empty. And therefore it is only show of power. And I think it is a wrong way of showing power. Wrong way, because it really creates more alienation and hostility among followers of religion. We should be working towards peace, and therefore we should be promoting policies that will promote peace, not conflict and wars. And also Greece also is very hurt by this because they are also Orthodox Christians. And this is not the way to go, my dear friend. It is wrong, and I do really believe that. Therefore, I want to stop this issue here, but it was one example how we can work with it. And inshallah. And Brother Najafi, you dealt with this hot topic very well.
I have a quick comment in response to what Brother Mustafa said. I agree with Mustafa that we should look for the source of why the peace is less to find and fighting. And that's when we search all that, shortly we come to conclusion that it's a British government that throughout the decades, if not centuries, working very tirelessly, very religiously or politically to divide us and then conquer. And that's what they have done from China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, India, I mean, the whole South Africa, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, but again, it is now something in the past, how we can unite with the British people to change the direction, not with the British government. I don't think that Turkish government or Saudi or Iranian governments are better than those governments. if they have the power of the British, they would do the same or even worse. Therefore, I don't think they are better governments. They only think they may not be able to do what British do because they don't have enough power. We know when they get power, what kind of beast they turn into. And therefore, you need to change the culture and the mindset of people. Nationalism is a big sickness, disease, like religion. And therefore, religion and nationalism, these are the two viruses that divide us, create hostilities and wars, and also makes other injustices to be ignored. Like now, when there is war, we care less, then we forget about the biggest, that our tyrant, is a thief, is a corrupt person. We go even fight for that person because it is war against another nation. Then we get stuck to each other. We work, we go kill ourselves, sacrifice ourselves for a corrupt leader. That is a bad way because wars is done through this way. And therefore we need to really, people individual to individual, go each other and connect to each other, maybe talk more softly than I do. I know that I a little bit got carried away, but to me, I thought it was injustice, but I know that you are a wonderful person and I should be kinder to you. And I learned my lesson today and you dealt with very good. And I apologize, Brother Najafi. You are a wonderful, gentle person. And I hope
Thank you. You're promoting peace and promoting what so-called what we heard Jesus, that he says, if you got hit in one side of your face, offer the other side. That's very fine. That's very beautiful. But humanity, once they get under pressure, they don't want to die. When they see genocides right in front of their, I mean, we're not talking about years back, decades back, centuries back, right there on maybe 25 years ago during the Clinton time, when they killed a lot of Muslims with no reason, just because they were Muslim. Now they find it. No one went to the, well, they found one military man, took him to the court, to international court in Lahey. But pretty much they let them go. They said not much of a retribution.
And in Rwanda, also Rwanda, you remember Hutus and Tutsis, and there was genocide there, incredible genocide. And there was also another genocide against Kurdish people by Saddam Hussein, killed about 100,000 of them, and Halabja gassed them to death. There was also that time silence of the world. Yes. Therefore, and but it is also genocide on everywhere. When we talk about genocide and stuff, if you mention only the Muslims and the other only mentions Christians and the other mentions only Jewish people, then here comes division. Therefore, for me, regardless of their religion and their race, if they are massacred by others, I should be standing for those people, correct? We should have Arka, for example. Armenians people were also, according to some, many things, it is genocide. Of course, Turkish people reject the idea of genocide. They say it was mass massacres and stuff. And most likely, but also Kurdish people did, I am Kurd, and the Kurdish people also committed war crimes and genocide against Armenians that time. And therefore it has nothing to do with race. I reject my ancestors who committed atrocities and genocide. And we should all be the same way. But we sometimes very carried away with our religions and nationalism, ethnic background. God bless you people, and thank you very much for your patience. Nasrin Obeidi, you didn't talk at all. And Bindu, do you have anything else to say, or anyone else? Tolga, you are still driving, Tolga.
I'm still driving. I'm
Where are you now?
Place.
Where are you now?
I'm in Minneapolis right now, but I'm almost like 10 miles south of Minneapolis. After here, I'm going to go to Duluth, Minnesota. Somewhere close to Canada. It's a beautiful place.
Wow.
Then in 2 weeks, I'll be in Montana, Wyoming, the South Dakota, North Dakota. I'll show around.
Okay.
Especially, I'll spend some time in Yellowstone.
One day I will visit. Yeah.
Bald eagles, bears, and wolves. I find those animals more peaceful than all human beings. So, but I think what we need to do, Edip abi, since we are from the region, since we have this Mesopotamia mindset, aggressive, more aggressive than the others, we need to tune up a little bit more on the next meetings if we are really going to talk about
tune down. You meant tune down?
Yeah, tune up to them, tune down for us. Correct.
Okay. Thank you. And by the way, he's Nejefi. He's somehow we discussed with Tolga on some issues. We are not on the same page, but I like him because he's open for discussion issues. Sometimes it could be very heated discussion, but as a person, he is a wonderful person, trustworthy. One of the things, if we discuss here with some passion, but we should know ultimately we have to end up with peace. Our purpose is to establish peace. Therefore, I hope that it will happen, inshallah, God willing. Thank you very much, everyone. Yes.
On any discussion, whether we agree with each other or disagree with each other, I see it as a positive point.
God bless you. Take care.
Agree.
Bihar, Ibn Bihar, thank you very much for joining us. It must be very late over there.
It's almost 4 a.m. now.
Oh my God. What are you doing? Are you retired? I hope that you are retired.
I'm doing consultancy and also some businesses. Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah, I can adjust my time.
Tomorrow is Sunday, inshallah.
Selamat pagi works for them. Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi. Thank you.
Okay. Take care, people. Peace. I'm closing.
Peace, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
We see each other.
Yes.